You don't think of yourself as difficult. You think you're just careful, selective, maybe even self-aware. You tell yourself this is maturity, that it's better than being naive or needy. But something keeps happening. People get close, and then slowly, quietly, they pull away. Not with drama, not with explosions, just distance. And you replay it later, trying to find the moment it shifted. You usually blame timing, compatibility, or wrong people. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. The pattern isn't them, it's the way closeness feels to you. You want connection. But when it starts to feel real, your body tightens before your mind reacts. You don't notice it immediately. It shows up as silence, as restraint, as control. You call it independence. Others feel it as distance. And this is the part no one warns you about. You can crave intimacy and still be hard to stay close to. You're present, but not fully reachable. Warm, but guarded. People sense it before they understand it. Something feels blocked, like knocking on a door that never fully opens. And here's what you never noticed. That door didn't close to push people away. It closed because once, long ago, leaving it open wasn't safe. This wasn't your personality. It was survival. Your nervous system learned a rule before you had words for it. Closeness equals risk. So you adapted. You became observant, controlled, emotionally economical. You didn't choose this. Your nervous system did. And it worked. It kept you steady, functional, protected. Until protection started to look like distance. And distance started costing you connection. This is where most people misunderstand themselves. They think the problem is being too much or not enough. But the real issue is timing. Your defenses are older than your current life. What saved you once is hurting you now. Not because it's wrong, but because it's outdated. You relate to people like the ground might disappear. So you keep one foot ready to step back. Here's the painful part. Others feel that hesitation even when you say all the right things. Love isn't just words. It's nervous systems sinking without armor. And you never fully take yours off. Not because you don't care. You do it because being open once came with consequences. Consequences your body still remembers. So you manage closeness instead of entering it. You measure, adjust, anticipate. It looks like emotional intelligence. It feels like safety. But connection needs something else. It needs presence, without an exit strategy. And this explains why it never changed. You kept fixing the surface, not the source. You tried communication, boundaries, self-work, but the reflex stayed, because the reflex isn't conscious. It lives deeper, in the body's memory of loss. You pull back before needing becomes visible, before attachment has weight. From the outside, it looks like emotional distance. From the inside, it feels like control. And control once meant survival. It meant you wouldn't fall apart again. So when someone asks for more of you, something inside resists. Not out of cruelty, but fear. You think you're protecting yourself from them. But you're actually protecting an old wound from being touched. And this is why love feels harder for you than it seems for others. Not because you're broken, but because you adapted too well. You learned how to be composed instead of connected, calm instead of open. People admire that at first. It feels stable, mature, attractive, but intimacy asks a different question. Not, are you safe, but are you here? And this is where friction starts. Because you're present physically, but partially absent emotionally. You share thoughts, stories, even vulnerability, but something stays untouchable underneath. Here's the painful part. Real closeness requires risk without guarantees. Your system learned guarantees first, control first, distance first. So when love asks you to soften, your body hears danger, not romance. This wasn't your choice. It was conditioning. You adapted to inconsistency by becoming consistent yourself, predictable, self-contained. And it kept you standing when others fell apart. It gave you an identity you could rely on. But identity can turn into armor. And armor makes closeness heavy. People don't leave because you're cold. They leave because they can't reach you. They feel like they're always approaching, never arriving. Like intimacy is always one step away, and you feel misunderstood. Because inside, you're trying so hard. You're not withholding love. You're rationing safety. This is where most pain hides. In the gap between intention and experience. You mean well. But your nervous system still lives in an earlier chapter. And this explains why reassurance never fully lands. Why closeness always feels temporary. You're loving from a guarded place. And guards don't rest easily. Here's what changes everything. You were never hard to love. You were hard to reach. And even that had a reason. Your system learned to stay intact, not to stay open. That difference matters. What saved you once is hurting you now, but it doesn't have to be erased. It needs context, compassion, updating, not force, not pressure, because safety isn't built by pushing past fear, it's built by staying present inside it. Love stops feeling dangerous when your body learns it can leave without being abandoned. That closeness doesn't erase you, it doesn't trap you. And slowly, the armor loosens. Not all at once. In moments. In pauses. In small risks that don't overwhelm. You start managing connection. You start experiencing it. And it feels unfamiliar. Quiet. Almost fragile. But for the first time, it feels real. Not controlled. You don't disappear inside closeness. You arrive. And the fear doesn't vanish. It just stops running the room. This is what healing actually looks like. Not confidence, but permission. Permission to be seen without performing, to stay without gripping. You were never too much. You were protecting something tender. And now, maybe for the first time, you can let that tenderness breathe. If this felt like someone finally spoke to the part of you that stays quiet, you're not alone here. This channel exists for people who don't need noise, only clarity, so stay, if you want to keep understanding yourself a little earlier than before.